don't watch iCarly?
Not the new one.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen the new one either.
I heard you believe in ghosts, though. What's that about?
Believing in ghosts?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's hard not to believe in them, right? They have like spooky houses.
You literally said before we went on air that you had like this big story, this big revelation.
Well, no, there's just a great quote from Ted Lasso.
Well, then you have to say it.
Well, I think do I believe in ghosts? I think it's more important that they believe in themselves.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
All right, you can go ahead and start.
Anyway, welcome back to another season of Fantasy Alpha, the podcast. Welcome back, Jack.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, this is going to be a good time. It's just us two schmucks this year.
I know. We cut it down. We made some cuts.
I don't know who let us have mics. It's kind of dangerous.
I know.
But,
it's so cool. Though.
So good to be with you.
I feel like we have so much power.
Yeah,
I know.
So much room for funtivities.
Definitely.
But yeah, another fantasy football season underway.
Yeah, how'd you do last year again?
Whatever.
You have to tell the viewers because they don't know.
No.
I know.
Listen, it's all about the present moment. We're not thinking about the past. I know you definitely live in the past for all you listeners out there. Yes, Jack beat me 2 years ago in the championship. Yeah, he really wants. He probably has it tattooed to his ass. But yeah, he would send me the score at least after that, probably at least once a week, and then he still does. And you definitely still have that saved as like a favorite.
Oh, of course. It's my wallpaper. It's like my rotating wallpaper, as it should be. But yeah, we're back for another season. For those of you that don't know us, oh geez, now I'm by myself. I just looked at the game. Yeah, me and Alex are longtime friends. Best is in parentheses because it depends on the day. Yeah, longtime fantasy football players. Feel like we know some things, but we're not experts. But we're here to give advice, talk about the fantasy football season with you guys.
We're borderline geniuses, let's be honest.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
I know.
Yeah, we're kind of going full force with this fantasy alpha thing now. We have microphones, thanks to our producer over there.
This is big time. Yeah, great guy. He's not camera ready though, aesthetically. That's why he put us on here. He needed the what is it called? Like the window dressing or whatever. What is it? The eye candy. That's what it is.
Yeah, well then why are you on here?
Okay.
Nice.
You've been waiting to say that.
Yeah, and I'm excited to get into this algorithm. About this algorithm.
I was never good at math.
Yeah, well, we apparently have this algorithm that helps project fantasy points. So I'm excited to kind of mess around with that this season to be more official than we have been in the past. But we're at least in person now. This is so great. We're at Alex's apartment. Big Pittsburgh guy.
We're Pittsburgh fans, as you can see. We'll try not to show our bias, but we will. We'll try not to, but we will. It's a guarantee, but not.
It's in our blood. So,
how'd you do last week? Week 1.
Week 1. Jeez. I mean, I just learned a couple of days ago that I had the highest points for in the whole league. I'm pretty sure I called you and told you that.
You did.
Yeah. I think I had like 145 points. So yeah, highest points for. Yeah. So how did you do? Probably not as good as me, obviously, because I was number 1 points for it.
Well, I won. That's all that matters. I tell my team before every game. I said it even before we got on the podcast. I told my fantasy team, if we just go 1-0 every week, we'll be great.
Yeah, that's one way to put
it. That's definitely a Jim Harbaugh thing, and I'm definitely a big Harbaugh fan.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah. So 1-0 every week. We're 1-0. That's all that matters.
But you could also stay 1-0.
There's so many holes in your team, though. I can't wait to talk about it.
Jeez. Well, there's not because I have the highest.
This is what I think of your team. Yep. I see your team as my team from 2 years ago, where I was just like on fire all year. I lost like 2 games. And I definitely just talk shit to you.
So
the whole time, and then you beat me.
You think my team's gonna lose twice this year?
I hope it lose twice, and then I beat you in the championship. I honestly, I will even take you winning every single regular season game, and then you losing.
Well, I guess we'll find out. But I'm off to a pretty good start, one would say, being in first place.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I'm happy for myself too.
Yeah. But like, what are some of the highlights from your team?
Highlights from my team. It's just another average week for your boy. I mean, number 1 in the league, highest points for.
That's great.
I had some surprises though. Mr. Jamison Williams. Didn't really know who he was until you explained to me. Went to Alabama, but
Roll that.
so this is even more impactful because he was on my bench. 24 points. Yeah, I played. Played someone, but I didn't play him.
You play.
I could have had even more points for it. That's just the depth of my.
You definitely played Romeo Dobbs because I know that in our intro podcast for all you listeners out there, if you did
you stay tuned to that one?
I talked about you playing Romeo Dobbs in your flex when you had so many other people you could have put on.
Yeah, well,
like no, you went with like the 3rd wide receiver on Green Bay for your starting position. So that was really good on your part.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to forget that we have 3 receivers in this league and then also a flex, which is kind of ridiculous.
That shows your dedication. We've been doing this now
for a couple of years.
Also, we've been doing this fantasy league since we were about 10 or 11 years old. Basically the same rules. We may have switched like sites that we did it on, but it's basically been the same rules.
Yep.
So
I really don't. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, back to my team. Back to me.
Hey, go ahead. Good. This is all about you tonight.
Well, I remember we were drafting, and you gave me crap. I wonder if we can bleep each other out on this. That'd be cool. For drafting Cooper Kupp. That'd be hilarious.
What's going to be hilarious is, like there is a super high chance Cooper Kupp is gone with some sort of injury for at least half the year very soon.
I don't believe that.
I would not touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Well, I've
like
touched
the Grinch.
I've drafted
no free
him.
ads.
He's on my team, and he did extremely well last week. Another surprise was Evan Ingram. I'm very high on Evan Ingram. I know you're not, but last like 4 or 5 games last year, he was putting up high fantasy point numbers. So Trevor Lawrence, they're obviously trying to figure out their team.
You're seriously going back to how he played last year as momentum for this year? You think that's just going to carry over?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Go ahead. Talk about your team now.
No, go ahead. You're on.
No, that's about all I had though. Yeah, did I mention highest points for? And I'm 1-0. And I play our boy Dom this week.
Great. Shout out Dom. Captain Battaglia. All right. I had a solid overall game. I won 128 to 110. Nice. CJ Stroud. He's my captain. 18 points. David Montgomery, you definitely gave me a hard time about him, and he just came away with a slight 16 points. AJ Brown did his thing, 22 points. Definitely my all-stars, though. Chicago defense. Yeah, number 1 defense. 22 points, 3 sacks, 3 turnovers, one of them being a pick 6. Made was Will Levis's daddy that day. Well, so shout out Bears defense. Love you.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. You're going to be relying on a defense all year.
I mean, I think that's just good research on my part.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, that just screamed.
Yeah.
22 points.
What was the score of that game? It's pretty high scoring, though, wasn't it?
I actually have no clue.
I'm pretty sure he plays for the Titans. I'm pretty sure the Titans put up some points.
I love though. I don't know if you saw what their coach Callahan from Tennessee said in their post-game press conference. He was like, if we just punted on first down every time, we would have won the game.
Yeah. I know I have Caleb Williams in another league. As a rookie, I love that he actually just gave the defense props and was like, yeah, I did nothing. And I saw that in our fantasy stats. So anyways, yeah, well, that's good. What else about your team?
Well, I'll actually transition to my other league. It was a completely different scenario where I was playing a close friend of mine from college, and I was going into the Monday night game projected to win by 15 points. I'm like, oh, I got this. I have Jets defense.
Right.
He only had, I want to say, Kittle and Moody, San Fran's kicker, for any of you who don't know who that is. And I wake up to a text the next day saying, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I look, and I lost by 0.3 points.
0.3 points.
0.3. I lost 95.75 to 95.45.
Jeez.
All because Moody decided to pull Chris Boswell and score a ton, and the Jets had like 3 points. Kittle didn't even do that well. But that's my teams, so at least in our league we won for the sake of facing you.
I mean, it's tough to not look at that and be like, that's just coaching. If you're going to lose by 0.3 points.
Oh, no, it's going to be a lot of soul searching.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's obvious.
So that's that, a little high, low. We'll get back. We'll get back to it. But, so we want to talk a little bit, studs of the week.
Let's go to our next segment.
You're so demanding. I was just asking you a question. Would you want to transition to this studs of the week? And you were just like announcing like a public service announcement.
Yeah, of course. Do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
Go for it.
My studs of the week. You mentioned his name just a few seconds ago. Mr. Chris Boswell. Kicker. And
he's so good.
Punter. Because our punter,
he's the weapon.
Out for the year, which stinks, but 24 points, 6 field goals, ranging from, I think, 2 from over 50 yards, the other 4 from within 50 yards.
He just has a missile for a leg. Our producer's laughing right now. It's so funny.
Alvin Kamara, also on my team, 22 points, 15 rushes, 83 yards, 1 touchdown. You gave me crap for drafting him too.
Sorry, I have him in my other league, so
that's
I had to. I had no choice.
I know.
But for your sake, it was a bad pick.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. J.K. Dobbins, another stud of the week. Showed out. Used to play for the Ravens. Now plays for the.
You don't even know.
Yeah, I do. I'm just waiting for you to
Chargers. Go Chargers. Go.
10 carries, 135 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 targets, 3 receptions. Harbaugh's new team. They look pretty good.
Considering they scored 22 points, they're fantastic.
QB2. Who's the QB2 in the league? Who would you guess?
QB2
this week. QB2. Most fantasy points.
I'm gonna guess Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, that's so wrong.
No, he was number 4.
It's Baker Mayfield. Mr. Heisman himself. 24 for 30, 289 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I don't like Baker.
1 attempt at running away from the cops.
Yep.
Forgot that stat.
That's true. And he grabbed his crotch against Kansas in college.
Yeah.
Kansas. Yeah.
Rock.
I know stuff.
You know college ball.
You doubt me? I know college ball.
Boys know ball.
This is just my side gig to do NFL. I'm more of a college guy. Anyways, those are my studs. Chris Boswell, Alvin Kamara, J.K. Dobbins, and Baker. QB2 Mayfield.
Wow, so in depth. I love it.
I know. You're up.
All right. Well, I'm going back to what I said earlier. I just love my defense. They're just they know their identity. Chicago, we're talking about you. I already kind of said their stats. 3 sacks, 3 turnovers, 1 of them being a pick 6, 22 points. Awesome. Unfortunately, I'm going to say someone that you like worship. I probably have an idol of him is Joe Mixon.
Yes.
He had 27 points in his debut with Houston.
Yep.
118 yards, touchdown, couple catches. Also, Saquon, welcome to Philly.
Jeez.
I know
that's a bad
that front office for the Giants is definitely like rolling over right now. That owner probably wants to kill that GM.
Yep.
33 fantasy points, 109 rush yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 receptions, 19 yards, 2 catches, 2 catches, 19 yards and a touchdown. And then one of my big surprises is Jaden Reed from Green Bay. He had 33 points. He definitely came in as like, I know I kind of gave you crap about
Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah, Dobbs. I feel like it's more like committee, at this point. But for your sake, on your team is definitely like wide receiver 3 or 4.
Thanks.
33 points. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah. What's going to happen though with Jordan Love being out?
Well, I'll get to that later.
All right. Well, wow. Stay tuned. Jeez.
Stay tuned. Everyone be on the edge of your freaking seat. 138 yards and a touchdown and a 33-yard rush touchdown. That's just great. Those are my studs of the week.
Nice.
If you disagree with any of those, you probably do. You probably think
I just
is bad.
I just
How do you not see Joe Mixon?
I just can't get over the Bears defense though.
Yeah,
you're really high on the defense.
They're so good.
That's just crazy. You could be high on a defense.
Mike Ditka literally said this defense is like the 85 Bears. And I was like, sold. I took them in the first round.
You probably would take a defense in the first round. Yeah, I just don't know. I feel like it's hard to be high on a defense this early in the year. Some leagues don't even play defense.
I don't know what's worse, though. Me
Common-
being that high on our defense or our producer being so high on a 40-year-old quarterback and wanting to take him in the first round.
Sure. I mean,
we'll have to get him on here at some point.
What a segue into my duds of the week.
Oh,
Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
He's going to fire us after
40-year-old. 40-year-old man. I mean, he was that first drive, one of their scoring drives. He was giving some sparks. He was having fun out there. But he's one of my duds of the week. One touchdown. 2. Who did he throw his touchdowns to? Wasn't Garrett Wilson, was it?
No, Alan Lazard.
Alan Lazard, the old Green Bay Packer.
Alan Lazard.
1 touchdown, 147 yards. Yeah, not the best for Aaron Rodgers. But stay tuned for my bold fantasy predictions.
We're on the edge of our seat now.
Another dud of the week is Calvin Ridley. 7 targets, 3 receptions, only 8 points.
You didn't even know he was on Jacksonville.
I did know he was on Jacksonville because he took a year off. He was with Atlanta. He took a year off. Then he came back.
Yeah, last year.
Needs mental health.
Last year.
I know. You can still take a year off. Mental health, Can I talk now?
Go for it.
Back to me.
Been talking.
Chris Olave is a dud, which is crazy because he plays for the New Orleans Saints. And they put up like 45 points.
So good.
And he had how many? Guess how many points he had?
3.
I don't know because I didn't put it on here. Targeted twice, though.
Enough that he was a dud.
11 yards.
All right, so you can do – wait, say that again. He had how many catches?
He had –
These are PPR leagues, by the way. We're mainly talking PPR leagues.
2 targets, 2 catches, 2 receptions for 11 yards.
Okay.
That's
so it's 3.1 points.
Thanks. Good math there, guy.
I know. And you work in finance.
You're the math guy, though.
That's scary.
You're the – never mind. Carry on. Those are my duds for the week. Aaron Rodgers, Calvin Ridley, Chris Olave. On to you.
Oh, goodness. All right. Unfortunately, I'm going to say a dud for my team, Mr. Travis Kelce. Even though he has an awesome haircut and mustache, I don't know about you, but
Mr. Swift.
I like it. Yeah. Mr. Swift. Yeah.
Not related to DeAndre. Don't want to get those confused with each other. We're talking about a different Swift.
Yeah. Well, then not DeAndre Swift. Like DeAndre Swift's the main Swift at this point.
Right.
But yeah, Kelce. He had 6 points, 3 catches, 3 catches and 34 yards. So I guess it was 6.4 points.
He's on your team?
Yes, he's on my team. He'll be great. He'll be great.
When did you draft him, though?
When did I draft him?
Yeah. What round did you draft him? Pretty early
Definitely
on, I'm
second.
guessing. Yeah, second round. That's pretty
round.
good. I mean, it's pretty good for a second round draft pick, right? 7 points.
He'll be fine.
Yep.
He'll bounce back.
Carry on.
Great mustache. He'll be fine.
All right.
I'll then go Mr. Joe Burrow. I have a lot of questions on him. I do not have much faith in Burrow after that wrist injury.
That's true. Did you see how he picked up that water bottle?
No.
I don't know.
No, he had 8 points. With the fact that there's a lot of drama around Jamar Chase, T. Higgins right now, Cincy thinks there's like a whole thing going on with Cincy thinking T. Higgins is faking an injury.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the main headline today. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So a little turmoil in the wide
Trouble
receiver
in
room,
Cincinnati.
and the fact that Burrow's like made of glass. And I just don't think he's going to be that good this year.
Which is a shame.
So
haircut though, Slim Shady.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of DeAndre Swift,
Yes,
he was trash. I hope nobody started him in their league.
I think I did.
Yeah, he had 5 points. He was terrible. Yeah, just not a good all-around effort by anyone who had him as their RB1 or 2.
All right.
Yeah, and then I would say lastly, and I'll say this because this is on my fantasy team. I'd say probably biggest dud of the week as far as my expectations was Amon-Ra St. Brown. He had 4 points, even though Detroit had 26 actual points. I just couldn't believe he had like 3 targets all game. So yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown, be better.
Be better.
You look pretty good in the Netflix documentary, but
that's weird.
He did. He was looking good.
That's
training hard.
What do you say?
It's really not.
I feel like the quarterbacks this week just didn't have. What do you think? Teams are just getting used to playing together. I feel like all the starters. Preseason is such a joke. I mean, I feel like all the starters they just sat around and Eating sunflower seeds on the sidelines.
Baseball.
Huh?
It's not
That's
baseball.
what they were doing. I went to the Steelers preseason game. They're all eating sunflower seeds.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh,
They spit it
we
in a
are
cup.
screwed.
I know.
Our football team thinks they're playing baseball.
Seriously, I might
know
have. I might have seen the Steelers. They obviously got a new punter because our punter's out this year, and I might have thought they got a pitcher instead.
Wow.
P stands for pitcher.
You're so smart.
I mean, imagine Paul Skeens.
Well, I mean, if you were really, really in depth with it, though, it would be SP and RP.
Yeah,
pitcher.
well, whatever. But just imagine
This
Paul
isn't,
Skeens.
this isn't a fancy baseball show.
Just imagine Paul Skeens.
Paul Skeens would be an unreal quarterback. He was on.
Not going to be a quarterback.
He'd be a great quarterback.
You're a punter.
Well, he'd be a decent punter. But have you ever seen him throw a football?
Yeah, he does it before every game. It's part of his warm up.
I mean like legit, like chucks the ball. He's a better arm than Brock Purdy.
Wow,
Definitely.
that's a statement.
Looked unreal. I mean, he's like 6'6", 240.
You're really into this guy.
Arm.
You're really into this guy.
Great mustache too.
Big mustache guy over here.
Big mustache guy.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Huh? I think we should just do
We
mustaches.
should grow mustaches?
Well, I don't know if you can.
Whoa. Yeah, you could grow a mustache in 5th grade.
Not going to confirm nor deny.
I can confirm it.
The fact that you remember that.
I could try to draw a mustache. We'll see.
Yeah, we went to middle school together.
Yeah, we went to all the schools together.
If you can't tell.
All right, what do we got?
Do you want to
next?
move on to our next segment? Is that a good enough transition for you?
Let's do it. I know we should work on our segues though.
I literally.
I know, but
literally
like,
I'm just
okay,
getting
it's a great segue. Go ahead. You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
You go first.
Fine. Let's go waiver wire pickups. Let's transition to next week.
Why not?
I got 3. Is it okay if I do 3?
I mean, I have 3 though.
Okay. Well, hopefully I choose the ones that you have.
Nope.
All right. I'm going with no, I'll just do 2. I'll do 2 in case you want to do one of them. I'm gonna go Isaiah Likely, tight end, Baltimore. I think that he's gonna take Mark Andrews reps a decent amount. I'm not gonna say
I don't want to,
but I think Mark Andrews getting older Likely plays really well. He had the most points from a tight end this week. He's only projected 8 points, but I feel like this is like kind of a glimpse into the future. And I think it'd be a good idea to pick him up. And I know I actually got a screenshot from some of my buddies from the other league.
your sources.
Yeah, my sources. And there was like 7 people in my league trying to pick him up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And yeah, so I think Isaiah Likely, he's going to get a lot more reps and he's going to take some of Mark Andrews' production away. Next, running back, Zach Charbonnet. I say that only because Kenneth Walker is questionable for Seattle right now. He's supposed to play, but Kenneth Walker has a big injury history. And him being questionable already is just not good. And the fact that there are reports that Charbonnet is getting more reps in practice right now. And his projected points went from 4 to 8 from yesterday to today.
That's like doubled.
That's a lot of points.
That's like doubled. That's crazy. It goes from 4 to 8. Dude, your sources are unbelievable.
I talked to
I mean,
them.
you have somebody like at the Seahawks practice?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's called Google.
You know some guys.
Well, that's-
All right. Speaking of questionable, though, I literally checked. Apparently, Lamar Jackson is questionable. I looked.
don't say that.
I literally looked on NFL. Why is he questionable? Because he's a little sore from the last game he played.
See, in that
That's
case,
ridiculous.
I think they have to do that though. I think they have to report that. Like if he's not participating as much in practice, they have to put him as questionable. Because if he's not
Well,
he's completely full participant, then they have to report something.
That's crazy. I don't like your sources. Ben Roethlisberger took like every Wednesday off.
He definitely
He
just
wasn't
drank
questionable
beer.
every week. Yeah, of course he's the best. All right, is that your list?
That was my list. Did I take any of yours?
I know. Did you see his hands? That was
If
pretty
any, wow, that was
All right.
good coordination. We definitely brought a jugs machine out earlier.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you were definitely on the parking lot, just like set up the jugs machine, 100 balls. Our producer was like throwing them in there.
Why is it called a jugs machine?
Look like jugs.
Just grow up, dude. All right. Let's segue into.
Did you have your waiver wire pickup?
do.
Okay.
You're talking about
You
jugs.
were talking about segueing, like as if we were going to do another topic.
Well, we got to segue. We need to
And a
work on our
segue
thing.
into your segue?
Yeah.
That's so stupid. You
Speaking
like
of
that word way
segues-
too much.
Speaking of segues, you know those things you write on, you stand up on?
I just saw breaking news on ESPN. I looked real quick and I was about to be like, breaking news like Adam Schefter, but it was a baseball update. So I got really excited for
This
a
baseball
second.
podcast?
No, it's not. Go.
Baseball
Go,
podcast. Well, I
please.
wanted to transition from segues. Did you know the man who created Segway died on a Segway?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He drove it off a cliff.
Why do you know that?
Look it up.
You didn't know that.
Because I'm a fun fact guy. Ask anybody. Ask our producer over there. So my waiver wire
We
pickups
love our
are
producer, by the way.
QB. Wow.
Why'd you
That
say that
sounded
so
great.
loud? You
Wow.
put a little bass in your voice.
Yeah.
Boy just
Some
became a
bass.
man.
Yep.
I'm a real boy.
All right. So my
Yeah.
is little guy who plays for the New Orleans Saints. He was QB6 this past week.
He was your starter.
Yeah, this is my waiver wire pickup. Lamar Jackson was my starter. He had 23 throws, 200 yards,
Wow, that's a lot of throws.
3 TDs. 200 yards. That's
That's not bad.
not bad, but it's not like great.
And you're giving advice to the nation
Yes.
on pick them up.
Exactly. Because the Saints go marching in.
Sing it.
Second one, unfortunate last name, Rams, Colby Parkinson.
You
Well,
didn't-
the
you
sign-
didn't-
no,
you
we
didn't-
needed-
you didn't-
Tyler
you
did
didn't-
a little bit.
you didn't have-
We need to ride that
you didn't have to say anything like that. You could have just said Parkinson and just gone on.
Yeah, but I wanted the silence and the awkward
Before the show
silence.
even started, you were like that too. You were being a little weird about it.
Well,
This kid gone to med school too.
yeah.
Thought he'd be a little more professional when it comes to that stuff.
Yep. Didn't go though. So he's a tight end. He had 5
He
targets.
plays football.
He was tight end number 7 though.
It's great.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That's really for these deep leagues that a lot of people are in. 47 yards, pretty good. Rams. They used to have. I was trying to remember his name. Who's their old tight end?
Everett, Higby.
Higby. Where's Higby now?
He's definitely still in. He's definitely still there.
Really?
He might be hurt.
Well,
We'll have to do some research.
exactly. Go
Get
back
on
to-
a research. All right, we have to get on a research guy.
Oh, yeah, Colby Parkinson. Remember the name, and then Liberty. Wow.
Wow, are you kidding? You're
I'm
having a stroke.
so excited to be here. My last is another quarterback.
Jeez.
Went
my
to
God.
Liberty University.
No free ads.
Malik Willis. He's the starter now for the Green Bay Packers because Jordan Love is injured out multiple games.
Yep.
Because
Do
he's
you even know-
injured Achilles.
Nope.
Nope. That's you.
That was me. Dude, I'm
No,
grinding
he's
right now.
MCL or something. No. MCL.
Just so everyone knows, I tore my Achilles and I'm still here.
Yeah, playing pickup basketball with a bunch of old men and
We won that game.
women. Yeah, well, but you won't play pickup
was so
basketball
bad.
with me.
I just can't play yet.
Yeah,
Actually, I
well,
probably in where you play, I probably could play right now.
yeah, well, we're getting back in the PSL league, so. Anyways, those are my waiver wire pickups: Malik Willis, Derek Carr, Colby Parkinson.
Say it without smiling.
Remember the names: Colby Parkinson.
Okay, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
Wow. All right, can we segue again? Is that gonna be
Gosh,
our
we need
like,
to work on
buzz- is that like
yeah.
our buzzword?
Work on our segues.
Maybe we should get like a sponsor from Segway or something.
Wow. Great segue on our sponsor today is.
Just have one like right here. We could just be on. We could be on Segways. And do this. We could definitely do it.
Why would no?
It'd be different.
What we could do is we go on like a double decker bus downtown Pittsburgh, do a moving podcast.
You know what we could do?
What?
Go to the next segment.
We could go to the next segment.
Let's
Go to the
talk
next
about the people that we think should play this week. Does that work?
Sure.
Okay.
You can take this one.
I'll take this one.
Go ahead.
Like what I saw of Najee Harris, running back one, definitely after that Atlanta game. He was running hard, man. He actually broke.
He does
for
play
some-
running back.
He
Makes sense.
I mean, he had a couple like multiple 10-yard runs, which he never had last year.
True.
He's
He's
running
running
hard. He was
angry.
breaking tackles. He was looking pretty good.
Wow.
He was projected 14 points this week, which is I would say play him. I know it's been a little speculation of how much of a workload he was going to get between him and Warren, but after week one, I think it's going to be majority Harris. So I'm going to say play Najee, boys and girls. I'm also going to say play Aaron Rodgers against
Who's he playing?
what?
Who are they playing?
Tennessee. He's projected 20 points.
Jeez.
Tennessee's defense did not look good.
Yeah,
Even
well, he
though
didn't look great either.
I mean, I know Caleb Williams passed for like 3 yards, but I would take Rodgers against Tennessee. He got a week under his belt. He's going to get back to being
He
himself.
also has 40 years under his belt.
That's okay. Great mustache.
Just saying. Does he have a mustache?
Yes.
Jeez.
You don't pay attention to this stuff?
I don't look as closely at men that you do, I guess.
Okay. I just want to grow a mustache. Last one.
Give it to him.
A little bit of a dark horse here. Another running back by committee that looks like he might break away and have most of the production is Zach Moss taking over. Probably, I would think as running back one for Cincinnati. Is between him and Chase Brown, who's I think a second-year running back. Yeah, out of Illinois. Zach Moss, he had 14 points last week. He was, yeah, he was looking pretty good. I think if Burrow is still kind of getting back, and
they're gonna do something.
Yeah, he wasn't playing too well, so maybe lean on the run game. I would play Zach Moss, maybe in a flex position, or I mean, if you're in like a 12-plus league, as far as like 12-plus players,
like 12-year-old league.
12-year-old.
How many?
I know when I said that you're going to be
12-year-old league.
You're going to get on me, brother.
Would be in a 12-year-old league.
Yeah, I think that'd be good flex position. So yeah, Zach Moss. So Najee, Aaron Rodgers, Zach Moss.
That's great.
Do you like that?
I mean,
good.
A lot of running backs there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Bengals, as you said, they're playing the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Exactly. Burrow's going to struggle. They're going to have to run the ball.
Well, time will tell.
It will, actually.
It will. Actually, we'll find out now. I am saying the obvious, mostly because I didn't do starts and sits this week. Except for I have one that I just Googled. And I've already said his name, J.K. Dobbins, for the Chargers.
Why do you want to start?
Because,
elaborate, please, for our viewers.
I don't know. He was just on Yahoo Sports. I don't know who they're
just
playing.
like every other athlete.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, for those CMC managers that are looking for running backs, I feel like it's good to highlight the running backs.
I have a good idea why you should play J.K. Dobbins.
Go ahead. Share with the people.
Because of the Chief.
The Chief.
Jim Harbaugh. He loves that ground and pound. Run the ball down your throat. I think he likes him.
I think he does too.
I think you should play him more.
I think he should as well.
And also, Justin Herbert has absolutely no weapons at all on the outside. And
what about Keenan Allen?
He's not on. God.
I knew that. I don't know where he plays.
Huh? You said that way.
No, I knew Keenan Allen is not on there.
You said that you were like, where's Keenan Allen?
Well, he's obviously not on the Chargers anymore.
That's what I'm saying. They have no weapons.
You think Harbaugh will suit up this week?
I would if I were betting on them, I would take them to cover.
We don't give gambling advice though.
I know. I'm saying if I were.
Oh, so are you?
I might. I haven't put my bets in yet.
Nice. All right. Speaking of bold predictions of Jim Harbaugh suiting up next week,
I'd love to see that.
What do you got for bold predictions this week?
We didn't even talk about our sit-ems.
Oh. Well,
you're not even looking at our. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go to some sit-ems. Okay,
go ahead.
All right. So I already talked about Isaiah Likely, where you should pick him up. I think you should sit Mark Andrews because until I know right now he's projected 11 points, and I don't know why. I just feel like again his workload is just going to go down throughout the year, and I think until he actually explodes for a good game, I think you should sit him.
I think he stays so much from week one. I don't think we give up Mark Andrews, mostly because I have him on one of my fantasy teams.
I don't know. I think if they see Isaiah Likely play like that, obviously the next week they're going to try to get back to him.
We'll see. It's a game of runs.
I'm also going to go talk about Najee. I'm going to say sit Jaylen Warren. He's been a flex position for a lot of leagues.
Those are some deep leagues.
Why? You're talking about like the 12, the 12 plus
12 and over league.
Yeah. I would definitely not play Jaylen Warren. Like, okay. For example, I am in a 14-team league.
Nice.
And he is absolutely playing as like an RB2 or a flex.
Yeah, that's
Like
crazy.
there's no way he's on the bench.
I would never partake in that league.
It's ruthless. You get it's basically that league is
You get one injury and you're done.
It's one running back injury. At least there's more depth in the wide receivers.
Yes, that's true.
And it's only a 2 wide receiver start. So
Yeah.
but yeah. So I would say that. And then I'm just gonna say as a just kind of overarching, don't do it. Don't play him. Anyone on Carolina. Don't play anyone on Carolina.
So like even Deontay Johnson?
Yes.
Because he's on your fantasy team.
He is. My biggest regret.
Just to run backwards, Deontay Johnson. Where did you draft him at?
It was
Probably like 7 or 8. What? I don't know.
It may have been 7.
I think it was 7.
It was probably 7.
That's unbelievable. Bryce Young is
Cheddar.
what does that even mean?
Cheese.
Thanks, buddy.
God, you're so dumb.
Gosh. All right. Is that all you have for your sit?
Wait. You've never heard someone say
Cheddar.
they're cheddar?
I thought that was
Maybe
a
that's
compliment.
definitely a basketball thing. You should know that.
I mean, I'm quite the
It's
baller.
a Irvin
For all
Ascension
the fans
Academy
out
card right here.
Yeah, my high school doesn't exist anymore. Too soon.
You have to look.
I heard cheddar isn't like money.
Yeah, that too.
So
But
I feel
in the
like money's
okay, you know in the context that we were saying it.
context clues.
Oh, Blue's Clues. It's a great show.
What?
That's my ADHD coming out.
Yeah, it's because it's 9:21. We should both be in bed.
Wonder if our best friend on the West Coast is watching. He's probably still watching.
Shout out, bud. He's probably watching.
No, he's at the gym.
He's at the gym getting
Our
swole.
boy is just getting shredded out on the West Coast in the desert.
Or he's on a date.
Desert
on Hinge.
Demon, that's his fantasy team.
Desert Demon. Mine's Mean Machine. What's your team name?
Washed up.
Yeah,
Because I am.
because you are. Why would you just crap on yourself like that? Like openly?
I'm self-deprecating.
Well,
Because then if I do well, then it's like, oh, my expectations were a little low, and I'm just gonna surprise myself.
that's
Is
deprivation.
it bad that that's also my team name in the other league too?
Yeah, be
That's what it was
creative.
originally.
Be creative.
I'm all
know.
business.
Yeah, that's why I make all the memes. So all of our fans out there, I'm making all the memes. Alex is running Twitter.
Follow on X. It's not Twitter anymore.
Follow us on X
Twitter.
and Spotify and TikTok and Instagram and LinkedIn. We have a LinkedIn account.
I don't know. We'll have to
That'd
talk
be
to our
cool.
producer about that.
We got a pretty big budget these days, so we'll talk to him. All right, are you done with your sits?
I am. Go ahead. Do you want to go into the lead for one time at least in this?
No, I don't
Podcast?
I don't have any sits.
You're just gonna play everyone. You can't do that.
I can on my team, in my league, in my own league. Who do I want to sit this week? I mean, I think I'm going to sit Romeo Dobbs. think that's obvious. I think I really got to play this Jameson
Yeah, actually
Williams
was-
guy.
Wow, so you're just gonna go just hyperbolic, like, oh, he had one good game, and you're just gonna play him.
Literally coming from the guy who's high on Isaiah Likely because he had one good game.
Touche.
Touche.
Touche with the accent over the.
Huh?
Nothing good.
So my sit is, who did I just say?
Are you
Romeo
dumb?
Dobbs. I'm not dumb. Also, are we really going to trust Malik Willis as the Green Bay Packers quarterback? What? Oh my gosh. What a segue into bold fantasy predictions for this week and for the future.
I never said that. No, not confirming or deny. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Keep going.
read
Stay on track.
the book. All right. We're doing bold fantasy predictions?
So is your Sidham is Romeo Dobbs?
Yeah, my sit is Romeo Dobbs.
Okay, I actually agree with that
Oh, thanks.
because he's on the team and you suck.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
Nice.
bold fantasy predictions for week 2. Go.
Mhm. I mean, we've already mentioned him. We need to definitely talk about more players this week or next week because I'm bringing back Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to look like his old self.
I literally said start him for
I
week
know.
2.
Well, that's okay. I'm going to agree with you for the first time this entire season and probably for the rest of the
I'm
season.
gonna mark it down.
Well, they're going up against the Tennessee Titans, coming off a rough loss last week. Their heads are down. Their heads are low.
Man,
Damn. But he's going to throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns.
I guarantee.
That's my prediction.
350. Okay.
Remember when like quarterbacks used to throw for that many
I know,
yards,
it's awesome.
like regularly?
Everyone, it should just be 5 wide.
Everybody's
Shotgun.
Exactly.
It should just be air raid. That's what it should be. It should be
Everybody's
2007 Texas Tech, Graham Harrell, Mike Leach, Michael
just-
Crabtree,
Yeah,
just 65 throws a game,
You're just
600
making
yards.
games.
That's basically how I played Madden.
haven't played Madden in 10 years. I think everybody's just into the tush push these days. The men like to get close to each other, like a scrum. They don't like to air it out anymore.
What leagues
Could
are
be
you
'cause-
watching? It happens
Huh?
with like one team.
I know, but they do it well.
You like the tush push?
No. I think it's going to get a rule change at some point. Anyways, yeah, so that's my bold prediction this week.
Okay.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I think Malik Willis is actually going to have a great game this week.
Wow.
Against Indy. Games at Green Bay. I just think it's one of those things where absolutely nobody expects it whatsoever. He's a mobile quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He has the weapons around him. I just think that I don't trust Indy overall. I mean, like they had a pretty heartbreaking game against a division rival.
Mm-hmm.
It's not proven that Anthony Richardson is going to be unbelievable every week. First road game of the season for a young quarterback. I think Malik Willis. Well, I think he's going to have a better game than you think. So it may not be a bad idea to pick him up. Just for a little.
How
surprise.
has he proven himself though? How many starts has he got?
None?
Yeah. So
None.
I guess the
That's
segment
my
is
bold
bold.
prediction. Is that, I think he's going to pass. He's going to run a little. He might have a couple of touchdowns.
So some touchdowns. So it's definitely a bold prediction, and that is the boldest.
That's
of
literally
the bunch. Yeah, I mean it's just fantasy predictions,
yeah.
like not going to happen predictions, like
That's
made up.
That's why it's bold.
I mean,
Because when it
you're a
happens,
bold
it's
guy.
like, wow, this guy, he's smart.
Yeah, he's bold for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
You don't agree.
I don't agree that Malik Willis is going to have a good week.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another one.
Go ahead.
Here's another one. I think he's a little bit underrated, but I'm just watching this here. Seattle is at New England. And I think maybe one of the biggest surprises
Those
at
pass
least
back.
is like this September, at least September, like first like 4 weeks or so. The Pats could end up having a winning record going into October. I'm not saying they're going to end up with a winning record, but they could surprise a little bit. They look pretty darn good against Cincy. And I could definitely see Ramondre Stevenson having another big game. He had a big game against Cincy. He had over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. And I think he could do it. Again, it's at home against Seattle. Seattle, it's a long trip. Seattle, New England. How many miles is that? Do you know? That's probably something you would know.
More than 10.
Like, did you know from Seattle to New England?
I agree. It's pretty far.
But yeah, I think that's my little prediction.
All right, I kinda like
Ramondre
that one.
Stevenson's got over 100 yards again.
Now you're coming back down to earth. Before we were a little out there, but that makes sense.
That's okay. That's why it's bold. Hot takes.
Yep.
Hot takes only.
Sure.
But
What you
yeah.
got?
Anything else you got?
Gosh.
Any other stupid?
That's I think all I have for this week.
All right. Well, hey, this was fun. I can't wait to keep doing this with you
I know.
and just
Every week.
want to see. Actually, no, I really do hope you win every regular season game and then lose, because then we can talk about this in like 4 months.
Well, we're sworn enemies, so we can't
It's okay.
root for each other. So
All right. Well.
send us out here.
All right. Well, hey, this is great. Full episode.
Longer than we thought it was going to be. Than I thought it was going to be.
Hey, I like talking to you.
Yeah, I get it. I can
Probably
tell.
more than we should. I don't know.
What?
Never mind. Anyway, I got to go to bed. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure as always. You can follow us on X, IG, TikTok, Spotify. You can
Stands for Instagram.
Instagram. Okay.
Yep.
TikTok, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We'll see you next week.
I don't know the average age of our listeners. They might not
Have
know what
a
IG
great
is.
evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
That was great.